What's up, you guys? We just finished Ask Alex number 88, and I love these virtual open house networking events because we get to talk to you, the deal makers, and learn what's going well for you and what kind of struggles you're having. So, Alex, what were your biggest takeaways from the chat today?
So big takeaways were how are people feeling about the current market shift? Another big thing was people were discussing their habits on what's getting them through these challenging times. And also, what are the opportunities that people are seeing in the marketplace? Check out the webinar to see those opportunities. Let's go. Hey, what up? What up? What's up, my deal makers? How's everybody doing today? I am in.
What's up, Mr. Camacho?
Where are you at, my man?
Good to see you, sir. I'm down here working at one of the houses.
Which house?
We are working down here at one of the houses at the Ramona house down here in Hawthorne, baby.
Oh, that was extra special to you, right, buddy? I see you giving that one a lot of extra attention.
Yes, sir. Got to get this thing to the finish line.
Wow, sounds good. Sounds good. Can't wait to barbecue out there, use the property, and not pay any money and just kind of stay there for free. It'd be great.
Typical scumbag investor.
Good old frugal investors. It's remarkable to me how many investors will ask to stay. Like even my Hawaii house, one of the investors that we went, he'll leave. We won't say names. He's over here hitting him up. Hey, I'm on Maui for a couple of days. I got to do this thing. You mind if I stay at the house? Like, yeah, bro, go ahead.
Go ahead, enjoy the fruits of the labor. So, well, cool stuff, guys. We're going to get everybody kind of trickling in here as we do. I'll go ahead and ask everybody in the meantime to go ahead and use the chat feature over there just so that we can have you guys kind of chat in and let us know where it is that you guys are tuning in from. If you guys have Instagram, if you guys are on Facebook, if you guys are on TikTok, whatever Instagram or social media handle you have, go ahead and put that in the chat as well. That way we can go ahead and connect and stay connected outside of this meeting. And then in the meantime, Alex, why don't you go ahead and give us a quick update, kind of what's going on with you?
Sure, I'll fire it off. A lot of exciting things happening. Last week, you and I went to Arizona, and we were so blessed to be able to appear on the Steve Trang podcast, the Real Estate Disruptors. For some of you that don't know, that podcast was, for me, very special because I listened to that podcast in addition to the Bigger Pockets podcast throughout the entire first 2-3 years of my journey as a real estate investor, and to be able to tell our story and to appear on there. And, we're huge fans of Steve Trang as well because of the sales coaching that we've gotten from him as investors. So just a lot of goodwill there. And we love Arizona, also having invested into that 18 unit there. So it was a great trip. And then we also got to check in on our 18 unit. What was remarkable is there were some monsoons. For some of you people in SoCal and other parts of the country, there are rainy monsoons and seasons in Arizona where literally you'll see this thing overnight just come down. And I think we didn't even hear even the rain, right, Will? And then the next morning we're getting messages that the parts of our property had
I slept like a baby, man. I had no clue there was a monsoon outside of our place, much less any rain. But gosh, man, that was pretty wild to wake up to, right?
Yeah, exactly. But fortunately, we had the on-site manager there help out. It was very minimal damage. Could have been a lot worse. And also, we got to see the update of the property. I don't feel like we got enough content that we needed to, but we were scrambling to get to identify how bad this potential damage was. So that took a lot of our bandwidth then. But what else? So right now I'm working on kind of rebranding my personal image. So just been, kind of not wearing as many baseball hats and just, I actually enjoy dressing up more. I think it's because I see my dad growing up, he managed restaurants. So he'd always be dressed up and ironing and just looking fresh and a little bit more professional. And so I'm kind of, doing that a little bit more of that because I think I've been, as an investor, you get a little bit casual. You can kind of wear whatever you want, things like that. But as I mentioned, I kind of prefer to be a little bit more polished, a little bit more dressed up. So working on that. This past weekend, we went to a great meetup with Gary, Cash Investors, another successful investor here in Southern California that we're good friends with. He's wholesaled us a property, so we supported him. That was cool. We got to see a lot of people that we know, other people that we were meeting for the first time, and it was like a party, wasn't it? I mean, did you enjoy that meetup? It was literally like a pool
fun
party.
Man. DJ playing, cocktails flowing, man, it was a good time.
Yeah, exactly. We jumped in the pool. I had a nice couple of laps. It was hot weather. It's typical of San Fernando. I think the property was in Canoga Park, and the valley gets hot. So that was cool. What else? So I'm staying here in Studio City. You see my book collection behind me. That is going with me once I move into my house in Hollywood. Right now, I'm just staying at my brother's Airbnb. And so Studio City is kind of my home base now until my house is done in a couple of weeks. And then, but just we've been working. You guys don't see him now, but Manu and then also Omar is here today at my place. We're working on MLS stuff. We're working on some training. And so we're designing some stuff to just kind of pivot or add to what we're already doing, and to pivot on some of our acquisition strategies. So that, and then we also have a great social media manager just joined the team. We were a little bit shorthanded there for a while, and then Abby came on board. She was a great hire from our team member Mikey. He hired her, and she's been fantastic so far. I'm really happy about her addition because, like as I mentioned, we've been really shorthanded on some of our virtual staff members. And then we got a trip in Hawaii coming up, right, buddy? What's going on? You going to Maui?
Yeah, it should be a fun time out on the island. I know, at heart we're just island boys, but I'm pretty fired up to get out there. And it's been a minute since I've been on the island, so we're going to be in Oahu and Maui, which should be super fun to get out there and catch some waves and relax and recharge.
Yeah, so I think the end of this month we'll be going for a couple of days. You're going for a lot longer than I am. I think I'll probably only be there for 4 or 5 days. I haven't even booked my flight, but we got so much work to do here in SoCal that. But I'm excited. I haven't been in Hawaii in about 2 months, a little more than 2 months. So I do miss the water. Do miss out there getting get some free diving in. So excited to spend some time over there in Maui with you, because you haven't even seen the house finished or anything. So I know you saw it for the first time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it finished since we started work on it, so I'm excited.
Yeah. One more thing too is we're working a lot more on our Antelope Valley and or certain parts of core Los Angeles marketing campaign. So we've been pulling some lists. It's been a while since I was kind of involved on that, but because we're doing more direct to seller stuff, that's something that I've put a lot more time in, and I love acquisitions. So we spend a lot of time pulling the right list, and then also just kind of spending time on what we really want to do going forward for acquisitions. But last thing here, though, the reason I think you guys are really in for a treat here, you got to stay to the end, is that we're going to be announcing a huge giveaway at the end of this webinar meetup. So make sure you stay tuned to the end, because otherwise you won't see it.
Gonna be big. Well, cool stuff, guys. I know, obviously we wanted to kind of touch base and go over some of the updates that are going on for us. But what we really wanted to do more than anything, guys, and this is one of my favorite webinars. Alex, I know you're a big fan of this one as well. Is just keep it super casual this week, and we'll go ahead and invite everybody, to kind of join us here on screen. And essentially this week is about you guys, and kind of just asking what kind of issues you guys are having, what kind of successes you guys are having, what you guys are seeing in your markets. Really just kind of a chance to connect, almost as if we were in a networking event in person, but more of a virtual networking event. And so again, I'm excited to kind of get to chat with some of you guys and go over some stuff.
Yeah, this is really the way it all started. We were in the middle of the pandemic, a little bit close to almost 2 years ago. We started the webinar at the end of 2020, and we started because we couldn't meet face to face with everybody. And we did evolve it to teaching some subjects and deal review and interviewing special guests and all that. But it really started out like this, just like, hey, we're in a room with other 19 people or other 18 people. What's up? What do you guys got going on? What are you working on? Kind of a just a really open mic, and open to the floor to people asking questions, and really want to see what other people are up to as well, because we share a lot what we're up to. What is everybody else seeing out there?
Love it. And again, guys, it doesn't have to be something you're struggling with. It can be something you guys are seeing some success with, anything that you guys are getting into, or anything you guys are doing to see some improvement. Like Ulysses, I know you're going to an event down here in LA, right?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I'm gonna be going to that hybrid event. I actually just got here to Irvine.
You got an extra bed over there for me right here? Can I? We got to tighten up. It's a recession, so
Let's go.
Roomies, bro.
109.
Good stuff. Can't we see you there, bro? I think we'll be there what time does it start in the morning tomorrow?
I think it's check-in is like around 8:40.
Okay.
So like 9.
So Ulysses, what is the number one reason that you decided to go to the hybrid event?
Well, I'm actually I work with one of the like Ty. He's one of the speakers. So I've been working with him, and he actually he invited me and I signed up, but I also wanted to go and just network with people and basically just network with people.
I love it. I know you came down to our event down here in downtown LA recently, and we appreciate you making the trip down. For those of you guys that didn't see, Ulysses is up in Santa Cruz, so a little bit closer to Northern California. So again, we appreciate you kind of making the trip down here to South California, SoCal, and joining us for those events. Alex, I know for us, like we go to a couple of events every year. The Ryan Pineda Masterminds. You're going to be going to the hybrid event with Ulysses, crashing in room 109. It sounds like. So it sounds like there's a party brewing over there. But again, I think that these networking events and these masterminds, these get-togethers, these high-level events with speakers like Ty and Adrian and Thatch, like these are huge ways to kind of not only grow your network, but really kind of grow your investing foundation, right?
Yeah, and I think the challenging part that I see with it is as you evolve kind of as an investor, your journey and whatnot, you get more results and whatnot, but also what's challenging for me is like we have to squeeze in the social media and we have to squeeze in these events, but still get all the work done with deals and business and managing the people, everything else. And so I think that is where it becomes challenging. At the beginning, you have the time and all that, maybe not as much resources, money, whatnot, but then you have the time to go do that. But then once you're working on many projects, you still got to be able to document all that through the social media as we do our best to, but then also attend these events to see what's happening, what other people are doing, what we continue to learn. And there's so many of them, and we know a lot of people that are going or sometimes speaking at these events. So I wish I could go to more, but I mean, it's already a lot to begin with all other stuff we got going on. I think also Bigger Pockets conference coming up pretty soon. And that's going to be kind of in our backyard in San Diego. So that's an event I'm really looking forward to. That is kind of a yearly thing, but Bigger Pockets and everything they throw usually is top notch, man. So, and it's in San Diego. So I know you were kind of grew up in San Diego. I was born in San Diego. I love it down there. So that's exciting to go in October. But in the meantime, what's everybody else working on right now? I think the main kind of questions I wanted to see is how does everybody feel right now kind of about the current real estate investment market, or anybody have any thoughts? I'd like to get everybody's opinion and about what they're seeing and what they're feeling about right now. And I'd love to share mine too. Anybody want to share? Anybody want to volunteer? See my man Dustin's in the building. What's up, Dustin? What's up, Antonio?
Yeah, Dustin, Antonio, anything going on in your guys' markets?
Hey, how's it going? I mean, nothing for me. I mean, I know someone has just listed a property and they had to drop it about $300,000. It's in town. But I know prices are going down here. That's all I know.
Yeah, same on. We just been noticing that obviously less people are down to offer on whatever deal we get right now. So especially on these higher end flips, because I know you guys focus on the 300 to 700 range. So anything over that, it's been really hard for us to move.
Are they saying they're not buying, or they just want a lower price?
Lower both.
Yeah.
The lower price or they don't do those prices.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't touching the $1 million mark as like they did last year.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing what we're seeing, guys, often now too is we're really having to work with buyers. They're kind of, and it's interesting because I was just talking to somebody about this earlier, was that we're getting kind of worked from the buyer side, the retail buyers, like they're asking for crazier, much more higher credits. They're lowering, they're offering less, there's less offers.
They're getting cold feet. Shit,
yeah, and then they fall out of escrow, they're falling out of escrow more often. Now we're not losing money on any property, but it's frustrating to like go 30 days on an escrow with the buyer wanting to work that deal with them, and then they just fall out anyway.
Yeah,
so we really try to. You seen that too? So So that's been kind of frustrating. But on the buyer side, as investors, we are seeing, well, it does give us kind of leverage because we're experiencing it as sellers ourselves. So we're like, hey, well, if I'm going to take $20,000 less than I want to expect on this property, well, I'm gonna need to buy a property for $20,000 less on the other end, or you get what I'm trying to say. So even though like on one side it's kind of challenging, on the other side I think it's an opportunity. But yeah, it is frustrating because they're waffling and they're not sticking as much, and we have to work with them. We had a buyer ask for like a $50,000 credit on one of our flips. Was like completely remodeled. Like we spent like 80,000-90,000 on that flip.
Yeah, we just had a buyer ask us to
taking
do the
advantage
meeting.
now.
Yeah, and so yeah, we fell out of escrow on that because they weren't even being reasonable. We probably would have given them $5,000-$10,000 credit, but not 50.
Yeah.
And then we had another buyer that was like, hey guys, we need you guys to weed the front yard before we close escrow. So we're gonna pay a landscaper $150 to go out and, you know, weed the front yard for them before they close, which is like, before that would have never happened. You know, it would have been like, hey man, go weed your own front yard. You're buying the house, that's on you now. But that was a request, and we were like, man, we really need this buyer. You know, we want to close this thing out and get it off the book. So we're gonna go ahead and concede and do some weeding.
You just gotta suck it up. As long as it's something reasonable.
Yeah,
Like, something like 50,000 credit, that's just ridiculous.
yeah. So I just want to share with you guys kind of what we're seeing there, because it is a buyer's market, and we're seeing that from both sides right now. Because also the sellers are not willing to let go of their properties right now. We have several leads that we've been working on that. I mean, they're coming back to us because they want the offer that we gave them 2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
But we can't offer them the same amount anymore. You guys see the same things to you?
Yeah, same exact
100%.
thing.
Yeah, and then we kind of anchor them with we start showing them the interest rates, and we're like, well, look at the interest rates 3 months ago. Look at the interest rates today. For us to borrow that money, it's going to be a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because we gave an offer back in February, I believe so, to some guy out in Texas. He gave us a call last week. He's like, hey man, does your offer still stand at 220? I'm like, bro, that's like, doesn't work anymore. We have to renegotiate that.
That offer expired.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, anything else you guys want to share? I did want to ask Eric Escobar. Looks like he's kind of joined the call. He's doing a massive amount of ADUs. Wanted to see what his kind of what he's seen in his world. Did you have anything else you want to share, guys?
No, we're good.
That should be it.
Yeah, no, that's good. Thank you. Eric, what are you seeing over there in the ADU? Are people still, are they still investing, or is it busier, or are you seeing people hold back on wanting to do the ADUs right now? What are you seeing?
As far as homeowners, not so much. They're still pushing, because you guys have to realize these are like people that are doing it for their parents, kids, different things, right? And maybe a little bit investing, but as far as investors, I have seen a bigger slowdown on the investor side. Like that hitting me up.
Well, yeah, I think you're saying the reasoning behind them doing it also plays a big factor. If they're moving their mother into the back house and that's why they're building it, well, they're not likely to cancel that move.
Mhm.
Whereas an investor, looking to make an ADU on an investment property is maybe more likely now to kind of hold back on that.
So as far as business, we're still pushing, man. It's still going good. I have seen a lot more deals coming my way. What they say are deals, and you're like, dude, that's not a deal. And then I've gotten some action with seller financing and sub 2. So that's what I'm seeing as far on that side.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the sub 2 stuff and the seller finance will definitely be opportunities that we're going to see coming up. So that's where we're going to be doing some more direct to seller marketing, because I think people are going to pull back on marketing. So
yep,
more strategic. Cool. So what I did want to talk a little bit about today, guys, is I think when it comes down to correction, market downturns, something more challenging, recession, input the challenger, whatever that is. Typically, in my experience, is that you got to become better than where you were to survive and to thrive. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, what are your most successful or most productive habits? I'd love to share mine, because I feel like that helped me a lot during the pandemic, just like really lock in on the reading, lock in on all the healthy habits, the healthy eating and all that. Anybody want to share what they think their most successful habits, productive habits are to the group? Because I think that's really important right now.
I think for myself, bro, and this maybe not a habit necessarily, but everybody that's on here, like Alex should and Will should be hitting social media hard, man. It's gonna help your business no matter what. So whether you're wholesaling, whatever, like deals are coming my way. I'm not even like out there promoting, hey, I'm looking for deals, and they're coming my way because of social media. I'm getting jobs because of social media. Today I had a pick my brain meeting with somebody that paid me $2,000 to hang out with me for 4 hours. Social media. So it's like, dude, social media is where it's at. So if you're not on social, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, what else are we doing? YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, and I'm missing, Facebook again, Facebook fan pages. I'm hitting those hard again. So you guys should all be doing social media, definitely.
What do you mean Facebook fan pages? Can you elaborate on that?
So you have your Alex Camacho Facebook fan page, and then you have your Alex Camacho fan page where you could promote ads on, right? So
Okay.
now the ad cost is down, so we could hit ads a lot harder because everybody migrated towards Instagram and TikTok. So now the value of your Facebook ads are going to be worth a lot more. Like it's going to be cheaper to hit more people on Facebook.
Got you. Okay, I'm gonna write that down, dude. I've got a new social media manager, so I think she's on here too. Abby, please take note of that.
YouTube Shorts as well, bro.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where things are starting to go viral on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not so much. And we just started with this, so it's kind of like, and I'm seeing the virality on YouTube, just like on TikTok. So that's kind of,
Okay. Yeah, no, I do. You're fantastic. I remember when we were hanging out in Scottsdale, where we were just like on it, you're capturing stuff, and it's work, guys. Don't get it mistaken, but you get better at it, and that's why Eric, is successful, because he just sticks at it. His videos were not where they're at today, where they were 2-3 years ago. Neither were mine. So awesome, bro. Yeah, I'm definitely making a concerted effort to continue to to work on social media. And
I seen, dude, you're picking it up. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Well, I'm in LA, so I got to pick up the flow. I had a lot of places in Guadalajara at my apartment and places around there that were just nice I could film at. In where I'm at over here in Studio City in LA, not as many. So I got to find like locations and all that, because it's kind of part of my flow, right? So I got to kind of film in nice locations. So yeah, but I'll pick it back up. Cool. So anybody else want to share some habits? One of my things is a green shake. I'll share that real quickly. I typically don't have a big breakfast, and I have my green shake, which usually is some type of plant protein, some avocado, some coconut milk, some healthy fat seeds like walnuts or pecans, some ice, some cilantro, some blueberries if I have any, and just really a big healthy green shake. And I typically have that a little bit after 10-11 o'clock in the morning. That holds me over to a later lunch. And so that's something I've been doing for probably about, in some way, shape, or form, somewhere around 7 years, like 7-8 years. Not every single day, but like 5 days a week. I fall off sometimes, but that's one of my most productive habits, because I know once I have that shake, that even if I eat bad the rest of the day, or not that I usually do, but or if I don't work out, I don't find a way to work out that day, that at least I had something very healthy. And I also take my vitamins, supplements and stuff with that shake. So I think I posted something about it today. So it's cumbersome, right? It's like I gotta buy the ingredients, and then I have to, put it all in there, and I have to shake it up, and then all that stuff. So it's not like a 5 minutes, thing. It's like a 15-minute thing. But I'm listening to a podcast or something, or I'm on a phone call while I'm doing it, because I'm almost on autopilot. So for me, that's one of my most successful, productive habits that I want to continue to be accountable for, because I just turned 41 this year, and so I try to stay young and healthy. Got to keep up with all you young guys. Anybody else want to share? I think
Will say, I'll double down on that, Alex. I think in times of recession, Warren Buffett says the same thing, right? Get better at one skill. Double down on one thing you're good at. So for me, it's always just been sales. Like I'm pretty good at sales. So I know we were talking, right? Like we want to get in front of more sellers and create more business opportunities as we can for ourselves, and take advantage of those skills. So I definitely agree. It's important to know what skill sets you have and what the best ones are to double down on.
I mean, and sales is something that anybody can learn. Some people are more naturally talented for it, but I think just understanding that you need to be able to persuade people for your, and that's not, sometimes persuasion is looked at as a negative thing, but not if you're selling something somebody needs, right? A services product that people need. So I love sales and persuasion. Actually, I'm gonna put this book in there that is kind of one of those classics. It's called Influence by Robert Cialdini. If you guys haven't read this book, man, this is like the Bible on influence. Like it is so well written and researched. And it's just like one of those books, and it's meaty. It's not like easy to like read in like some other books. So check it out, Influenced by Robert Cialdini. It's one of the best books I've ever read, and he has another one follow up. But he's just a brilliant professor in Arizona that's done a bunch of research on persuasion and wrote some amazing books. And this is his like seminal piece. So check it out. But yeah, everybody should work on some type of persuasion, whether it's persuading your girl on what restaurant you want to go to, or persuading a partner to invest on a deal with you, or persuading a team member to join the team, whatever that may be. I think persuasion is a skill everybody could benefit from working on. Agreed. Anybody else?
Love that. Who wants to share a skill that they're going to be working on? Dustin, Antonio, Lizette, Andy, anybody got a skill they're going to be working on?
Dustin is working on Spanish. He would like to improve his Spanish. Why do you want to improve your Spanish, Dustin? I'm curious.
You got me. You got me. You know, because I am loving Guadalajara and the beautiful women down in Guadalajara. And I come to find out they only speak Spanish. So I do have to up my game. Yes, everybody, I am Mexican and I don't know any Spanish. But I grew up in Hawaii, born and raised, and yeah, there's not too much Spanish here.
Oh, man,
so that is a new skill.
How,
multilingual.
How's that going, by the way?
It's good. I just started my my lessons with was it Preply?
Yeah, Preply, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good.
I'm gonna put that in the chat as well, everybody. So one of my buddies that is a world traveler used this app and website, and I recommended it to Dustin. I have also taken Spanish lessons to get better at my Spanish. And it's not that expensive, and you could also see your instructor. So one of the hacks that my buddy did is that he would hire like a hot instructor, because if you're going to spend an hour talking to somebody, well, why not somebody that's attractive? And so that it kind of makes you kind of accountable, and it's helpful. So just check it out if you want to learn your Spanish, male or female.
I know I do my my weekly call with my Spanish tutor as well.
Let's hear some of it, Will. Let's hear some of it.
Yo hablo español muy perfecto, güey. Por favor, amigo.
Okay.
Más mejor que Dustin, porque yo vivo cerca a México y es muy cerca a Tijuana.
Love it, dude. Love it. Awesome. Promotion.
Y también yo sé las cosas de la casa, el ático, el estufa, los pipas de gas y los pipas de tina, y todas las palabras que necesito para hablar con mi gente de la casa.
So yeah, I think so many contractors speak Spanish that, and Will is over there managing his rehab over there. He's improving his Spanish to talk to the workers. That's great, bro. That helps you save some money. Contractors they can work you, bud. They can work you.
Who else? Anybody else got a skill that they're working on right now? You know, analyzing deals, underwriting deals, finding deals, talking directly to sellers. Anything that anybody's working on?
Pretty much adjusting to how the market is transitioning to. That's something. So we would sell to hedge funds all the time. Hedge funds will buy like 90 to the dollar, 90. So now they're buying like 80, 85, 75. So we're used to locking them up at 75, 70 and selling them to hedge funds for like 90. So now that's no longer something that exists. So we're trying to figure out like that's how to lock them up a little bit lower at like 65, 70, try to sell them like 80. So it's something we're having trouble with, but eventually we'll get it.
Yeah, you just gotta look at, I mean, I think it comes down to like doing less deals if they don't make sense. And I mean, that's the way we're looking at it. We don't want to sit in the sidelines, but ultimately, if you can't get the spread you need to wholesale it or flip it, I mean, it's just not a deal in this market. And,
yeah,
you know, so that's the tough part, because you see a spread and you're like, oh, well, that spread, you know, we would have jumped all over it 48 days ago, but we're in a
we're also doing we're transitioning into more rentals. So
buy and hold.
Yeah, buy and hold. That's something we're actually doing as well.
Yeah, we're also looking at more of that. I had a couple calls with potential partners on some properties that were like, we don't have all the kind of conventional W-2 income to keep some of these properties just yet. We're just kind of ironing out some things here this year to be able to have better financing options for the long-term buy and hold. But yeah, that's something we recently got advice on from Ryan about too, that it's just it's one of these environments where you can get properties in prime locations, that would be good long-term tenant rentals. That's a good way to go right now if you are able to also use the tax kind of strategy in addition to that, having properties that could eventually go up and be really good rentals and all that. So, but yeah, we're definitely looking at just like, I think one of the deals we were about to buy in Lancaster, I think it'd be a great Airbnb because it's close to certain locations, certain commercial locations. And so that property, typically we might flip that property or we might do a regular long-term hold, but we might do an Airbnb on that one and then buy that with a partner on better financing. Because I think one of our friends, you guys probably know him, Tony Robinson, over in Joshua Tree, they're doing a lot of deals out there. They do a lot of those type of JVs where, somebody will bring the money and put the loan in their name, and then they'll just kind of, they have the system to do the whole thing, right? And so they're the operators.
Yeah, they have all the boots on the ground to be able to do the project.
They're the operators, and the other purpose is like bringing the money and actually getting the financing and getting that 10% kind of down payment, second home type of loan. Because a lot of what we're seeing right now is what I'm frankly concerned about is just we can't hold all these properties with long-term with a higher interest rate hard money loans. We got to find a way to either flip them or refinance them and get better debt, because all debt is not created equal, right? We need to have long-term lower interest rate debt, and I'd rather have that on a property than anything else right now. And so we're seeing what are the ways we can do that. And part of that is partnering up, hey, splitting some equity. Hey, we got a monster deal, we're going to flip it. Let's just keep this as a rental, partner up with somebody, use we already have the property. And so we're considering some of those kind of strategies too on a couple of deals that definitely seem like they're good long-term rentals too. So seems like you guys are on top of the game, man. Good stuff. So
thanks, Alex.
Yeah. What else is does anybody have anything else, like any predictions for the next couple months? If anybody else wants to kind of talk about, like you said, the habits that they're going to use right now to stay on top of their game, given a lot more challenges happening in the market, or if anybody has any other specific challenges they want to discuss that we, maybe the group can help out in. There's 20 plus people in the room, so a lot of people can, put their heads together and help you out if you have any challenges you want to be open and vulnerable about potential. What's up, Lisette?
Can you hear me? Hey, Alex.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How about you guys?
Great. Just here connecting. How are you? What are you up to?
Working on getting better at making MLS offers. I know as far as like shifting with the market and shifting and adjusting numbers, just getting better at negotiating.
Oh, okay. How are you doing that? Are you reading anything specific, or what are you doing?
Just right now I'm looking at houses that have been on the market for more than 60 days. Trying to gauge motivation and then putting an offer after, speaking to either the agent or the owner themselves. Sweet.
All right. Yeah, we just spent about an hour, give or take. The team and I working on some MLS stuff too as well. It's just such a big territory, and yeah, so I'm a huge fan of MLS, but it does take a lot of digging to find that gold.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good to see you, Lisette. Thanks for attending. Anybody else want to share anything or anything else you want to throw on the round table?
Hi everyone, my name's Alex. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Alexandra. How are you?
I'm at jury duty right now, so I'm using my last 5% shitty Wi-Fi to try to watch the webinar. But I attended that event you guys hosted last time, and it was my first time actually going to the event. And I'm actually 25 years old, just graduated my master's and just getting started in real estate. So I'm hearing everything you guys are saying, and I'm still in the process of learning. But I also live in LA, and the market's crazy right now. But I've managed to save up like 80,000, and I'm trying to buy and hold some properties and probably like Airbnb or long-term invest. but I really enjoyed everything you and Will have put on. And there's not a lot of people in LA doing it, so it's really cool to see you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that's kind of what we started it, because we were like, nobody's meeting regularly about it. But so what are you gonna do? A house hack, or what are you planning on doing?
Probably I'm probably gonna buy a fourplex for my first property and maybe do like an FHA and live in one of them. But I'm pretty open. I'm still looking right now. I'm working with a couple realtors and seeing if I can find anything and looking every day for a good deal too.
Oh, I love to hear
I
you
know
say that.
Alex has said this multiple times. Like, Alex, if you could go back in time, what would you do?
Buy the biggest, best floorplex I could find, from like Sherman Oaks, Studio
Boom.
City,
There
Toluca
you go.
Lake, like those.
My
kind of-
dad actually owns a triplex and he bought it in like 2000 and it was only $20,000 and now it's worth over $1 million.
Get out. Where at?
Yeah, in Southgate, borderline Downey. So it's really close to Downey, but it's like the borderline of Southgate.
You bought a triplex in 2000 for
$20,000 for a
$20,000.
triplex. That's
20,000.
unreal.
Yeah.
Yo,
Well, my
that's
mom
no-
actually, my mom used her only money and put it down on that. And so I'm like, I want to do that, but more. So that's why I'm trying to get into this whole scene. And I think it's really cool to see a lot of people doing it, because a lot of people in my community aren't really like interested in that or don't think they can do it. So I really thank you guys for putting out this like community and being able to allow people to join in on what you guys are doing and see how you guys are evolving.
Thank
No,
you. Yeah, appreciate
we could actually help you out, Alexandria, if you're looking for a
Yeah, we
fourplex.
recently got into multifamilies.
Uh-huh.
We got this like really hard deal, like other people couldn't execute it, and we managed to execute it. And then from there, we're like, dude, we could do anything. We did this, and then we have several multifamilies right now that we're actually working on. So
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Why
Can,
don't you guys
I can
connect?
give you guys my number in the comments, or I can my email.
yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
yeah, that works.
We're also
write
located
it
in
down.
LA, in the Valley. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the area.
Yeah, I actually work closer to the valley, but I live in LA.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
excellent.
So if
I
you
put my
ever-
number in the
Yeah,
comments.
definitely, we can help you out because we do have a fourplex in LA, and then we also have a triplex by Downey. Yeah, in Downey.
Okay.
Yeah, they all have
Cool.
tenants, but we're in the process of removing them all. So
Okay, awesome.
Well, look at that. There you go. You voiced yourself, and you have some other deal.
And I was like, I don't know if I should go on. I have literally like 3% left. So if I log off, that's why.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, happy to help.
Yeah, again, it doesn't have to be something you guys, want to share. If you guys have a question, like, Alexandra, if you guys have, something that you guys are struggling with, it can be anything. Like Alex said, there's 20 other, people here on the call, so you have a chance, for a couple other people to kind of give you some feedback or opinions. So if anybody else has anything, they're struggling with, that they're succeeding with, feel free to kind of chime in and share.
what's your guys's like? How many exit strategies do you guys have? Because as we're going through our journey, we're realizing that there's tons of exits, but it's always good to learn more.
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. I think part of that question, though, I think the context is, based on the deal, because someone's asked me that before, and I've said, well, like if I got a property in an area that is potentially an Airbnb, then it could potentially be that, but it could also be a long-term rental compared to other area that wouldn't really be applicable. So I think it's how great a deal as far as discount, and also the area of the deal itself that would kind of also help with potential exit strategy. And then also you want to add like what kind of property type. So like, for example, a completely vacant triplex at kind of a higher price could work under the right exit strategy of like doing Airbnb on one of the units, long-term on the other, living in the other, right? So, and then also I think there's context to that too, is how financeable, how bankable are you? As I just mentioned earlier, we're just getting to our second full year of actually making good money flipping. And without that second year being filed and having all that kind of all our ducks in a row with the taxes and all that, we're not able to get that long-term traditional conventional financing just
It's
yet.
harder. Yeah, it's harder with 30-year
Yeah,
fixes.
exactly. So a long-term conventional financing, a refinance on some of these properties is just not an option for us, where it would be maybe for some other investor that does have at least those 2 years. But then, like I mentioned before, we have some other properties like this one in Lancaster. Typically, I wouldn't want to do Airbnb on a Lancaster property, but this specific property being kind of closer to the hospital and some commercial and being a little bit smaller, but be really a good location, is a great potential Airbnb. But that could, with the numbers would still work as a long-term rental or as a flip at the numbers that we're getting right now. And then one last thing I want to add to that is also your personal portfolio. If it's like you need a tax benefit, then you might want to do a long-term hold on a property and use that tax benefit, as opposed to you just starting out, it's your first flip, you have all your money invested, you kind of need to flip that, property. So I think you guys are doing great. Your exit strategies will continue to increase, but also there's like, I don't want to go all over the place, but subject to and seller financing, the better you understand those, like those have been exit strategies for me in the past, simply because I understood them. And then when the opportunity came up to me, I was able to, offer that type of solution for that seller. Because if I didn't understand that strategy, I wouldn't have been able to use that exit strategy. One was a subject to, the other one was the seller finance deal that we got on the Maui house, the big house that we're keeping. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But I think there's a lot of context to like your exit strategies as an investor.
Excellent. So I do have one thing, Alex. So when it comes to like depreciation, like with the buy and holds, do you get like an estimate? Like say that 18plex you bought in Phoenix, right? Phoenix.
Yeah.
So does your CPA say, hey, Alex, we're gonna be able to depreciate this much the first year, and then this much in the 30-year span? Do you get like a clear idea, or do you kind of have to figure that out yourself?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I'm not a tax guy. I got to say that, right at the bat. But typically, if you're going to do a cost segregation study, you should be able to get it's a pretty big range. It's a bit between 20% and 50% of the total like purchase price. Typically, is kind of the range. So we knew we're buying this property for $3.6 million, that we would be able to get at least 20% of that in some type of tax benefit or credit or shelter, however you want to phrase it, because that's like kind of around the minimum. But we hope to get some more. So our initial estimate that we got from them was about close to $600,000, which is a little bit more than 20%. Oh no, I'm sorry, a little bit under 20% actually, but it was still like, and that was just kind of like, this is where you're gonna get minimum. And then we're like, it could be more than this. We're like, oh, well, that's fantastic. That helped us decide on keeping the building, because we really do need that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So say if someone's income was 800 or 900K, and then if you can cost segregate that first year, you only owe the difference.
Yeah. So if you made $900,000, you typically would have some type of tax liability of 30 to 40% of that. So, call that, 300, 400,000 tax liability you have for that much income. And then if you have a cost seg like that, and you had 500,000, or, you just deduct it off of that. And so just, it's essentially you're showing a loss over here on this side, and you're showing gains over here, and they kind of balance each other out. It's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. And then you do have it also, like, the purchase price is relevant, like I mentioned, because buying a house to do a cost seg on that you're only buying the house for 150,000 is not typically, like, they told us from the beginning that, hey, if the house is more than is less than, you're buying it for less than like 200,000, less than 150, is probably not really like worth it for you to do the cost seg, because again, I'm not going to go into details other than that you do have to hold the property for a certain amount of time to reap that benefit. It's not like you could just take it in year one and then like sell it the next year and get all that kind of tax benefit. You do got to hold the properties, so it has to make sense, like cash flow wise, or somewhat, like maybe it's breaking even, but then it's helping you reduce your taxes by $40,000. Well, shoot, that might be something you want to do, because otherwise you might have to just pay this money and then you won't have the property. So you'll start to make those decisions, but that's just kind of an overview.
It's a case by case basis.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. For this 18 unit, we really like the location. We really see the potential on it. We don't see ourselves selling it unless we're going to 1031 exchange that, if that's a strategy we want to do when we're ready to do that on the property down the road. So that's why, this property does have multiple exit property potential for us. We could keep it long term. We could sell it pretty shortly and then just move into a bigger asset, or we could sell it for a huge gain, pay all the taxes. I mean, but that's not what we don't need to do that on this property, and so that's why this is more of a long term hold and tax benefit, and then just parking some of the profits that we've made from the flipping.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So the cheaper stuff is you don't get a tax break, and
Yeah.
the bigger stuff's what you hold.
Yeah, so if you bought a house for $500,000 and you did on that would give you a much better tax benefit than the house you're buying for 150. So that makes more sense because you're spending, usually minimum $1,500 for the report. On the 18 unit, it costs us $6,000 for the report. So we paid $6,000 for a $600,000 tax benefit. I mean,
Good ROI.
we're still on the tail. We're still not done with all that, but that's the target, and that's what we've been told by our CPA, our counsel, and all that. So yeah.
Cool.
Cool, man. High level question, man. Thank you. So you making 900K this year?
No.
Stop.
I'm not. I just wanted to see how it worked.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not gonna cap. We're not gonna.
Thank God we're closing deals every month.
Six figures, but not 900.
Yeah,
not yet. You getting there? Cool.
Yeah.
Love the questions.
Hey Eric, we saw you say you're buying something in Downey. We actually have something in Downey right now. I'm not sure if you might be interested in that. Shoot us your number, your email. We'll send you an email.
I'll put my email in the comments, bro. I usually just buy in Downey, so that's kind of where I like keep it. I'm not like Alex. I'm just lazy. I just like buying in one city.
I'm lazy too.
Lazy, bro. One city, I'm good. I'll put my email, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, no worries,
hey, do you know Jason Andrade? Because he's throwing a pretty big get together on tomorrow or on Saturday. Maybe I'll hit you up. It's like a whole real estate thing, so it's not like own investor only. It's like he's an agent and a lender and all that. But a good dude. He's got a new house, or he's got a house that he bought over there in Downey, and he invited Will and Nice to come out. So we'll hit you up if you're gonna be in Downey on Saturday. Maybe you'll stop by.
Sounds good, bro.
Cool. What else? We got some other people in the building. What's George Anderson? Who's that?
Right here, man. What's up?
Hey, how are you, buddy?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. Have we met, or is this first time attending?
No. Well, I mean, we didn't meet personally, but I did go out to your event you held like a week or two ago, the one in LA.
Downtown.
So I was out there for that. Met a bunch of cool people. I learned a lot from the stuff you gave out that day. It's kind of like stuff we're gonna implement in our business, especially I forgot the guy's name, but where he said, when the markets shift, you really have to shift your business with it in order to keep, buying properties at the right price and being able to make a profit in terms of like selling it to your buyers and them still making a profit. So yeah, it was a good event.
Awesome. Thank you for attending, George. What do you do?
Well, we do wholesaling out here in
Alex. I don't know if you remember me. It's Eli.
Is that Eli, the guy that never sent me a deal ever? But
no, you're lying, brother. I called you. I had a few.
Man, it's all right. You my boy. You my boy. I gotta call him out. He's like, he sends all the good deals to everybody else, or he takes them down himself.
He's like, Alex, I have this deal that no one else will buy. Will you guys buy it?
How come you didn't attend the meetup, bro? What happened? Where were you at?
So what did I do that day?
I don't know. You just said you couldn't go.
So I think was it last weekend?
It was a Friday, right?
So we moved. I moved from I was handling the moving. So I was moving all my shit from the apartment to here. So George and I moved in. George works with me, my dispo agent. And we moved in together. George lives in Oxnard and moved to Bakersfield, went to school in Bakersfield. And then we started working together at the start of this year. And then the commute was just too much, and rising interest rates, rising gas prices, and cost of living, things like that. I was like, bro, it might just make sense that we just get a bigger place here in town. And then you just move in with me. So that way we can get your costs down, and then we can focus on building up our business. So the reason why I didn't go to the event, I actually wanted to go. I sent George to the event, to represent our company, because I had to move all my stuff out of the apartment that I was in into the new place. So that's why I didn't go.
Oh, good, brother. So you guys are both in Bakersfield then now?
Yeah. So I guess from the last time we spoke until now, really the only change that's happened is we expanded our network in terms of where we do business. And now I'm at the point where I'm ready to hire, and I have proper SOPs in place. I just watched you on Real Estate Disruptors. and you talked about you had a lack of leadership for a certain level, for a certain point of time, and then like you and Will kind of sat down, and for 4 months you guys weren't doing deals because there was all these things that were missing. And so I took the last kind of, I don't know, 6 to 8 months and really dialed in all the processes and systems that's required in order to be able to fill spots that I no longer want to, I don't want to be my own anything anymore. I want to be out there networking and building my business. And so that's kind of where we are right now.
Are you doing mainly wholesaling though, still in Southern California, or are you expanded to other markets? How's that looking for you guys?
We expanded into, we did a couple deals in Texas. We did a couple in other states here and there, like Florida, Ohio, Michigan, things like that. I ended up buying a house in Missouri for free on like creative financing. But those deals, I had to pull that back because I couldn't, like, all those SOPs and processes and stuff like that weren't in place for us to continuously like stay marketing in those markets and be effective. And so I decided, let's pull back. Let's make sure we nail this, home market first before we blow it up. And so that's kind of where we're at. And so now we do like, we do our own acquisitions, and then we do a lot of JV deals this year because George helps out with that side of the business. And now, like, I just brought on a TC yesterday. I'm restructuring my telemarketing team down in El Salvador, things like that. And so we're kind of restructuring everything to really blow up in the next, 6, 12, 18, 24 months, because there's going to be a lot of opportunity coming up, and I can see it.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're in control of a direct to seller, that you're definitely in the driver's seat there. But something came to mind real quick, EJ, but I wanted to mention to you guys. Sometimes you're not going to be able to do deals with people, but that doesn't mean you can't learn from people. Like, I've learned a lot about texting from EJ. I've learned, the guy's a savage salesperson. He's kind of like a Will, I will say, like, in that just great salesperson, influencer, just a persuader, and very well spoken. And even though I give him shit right now, like, hey bro, you never send me no deals. I still learned a lot from him, and I'm sure he's learned from me. And you never know, like, we might know each other for 4 freaking years before we do a deal, 5 years, 7 years. I plan on being here the long term. I'm sure EJ, George is planning on being in the long term as well. Look at the moves they're making. So don't get sour just because someone doesn't set you a deal or anything like that. I'm just joking with EJ about it, but because I never thought I'd do a deal with Gary from Cash Investors, and then he blessed us with this amazing beach house in Oahu. So you just never know. I was networking with him for several years before we even a deal came up that really made sense. So I'm confident you're gonna blow up, and Georgian will do well, along with you, and that eventually you'll send me a good deal.
But one of the things that I want to share before I guess guys, we started looking more aggressively to start taking down, our own flips, because I've been primarily wholesaling and listing everything as we get them. But now I'm trying to find a good deal where at least if I don't have, for me, it's like this. If I can make double the wholesale fee, that's a deal I want to flip. But if I can't, and I can only make, let's say, 60% of the flip, I'd rather take the wholesale fee because it's less risk, right? And so with this market change, I'm really looking for 2 times, 2.5 times to really jump in. But when I see that deal, I want to be ready. And so one of the reasons why George asked me to jump on this panel real quick is because I wanted to obviously let my voice be heard in your network, and then be able to maybe extract a few buyers, maybe a few lenders. If you guys have extra cash sitting around, that when I have a deal, ready to go, and you guys don't have anything, let's say, then let's partner up together and let's do something together. Because I really, from over the course of the last year, since we met until now, the power of networking is so important. And so when I can't be there, I'm glad that George is there, so that way our name is continuously being put out. And so if you guys are cool about it, if you guys all want to drop your emails and contact info, we'd love to be able to either A, send you deals, or B, network, so that way when we do have a deal we want to take down, we can still partner up and make money together.
You heard the man. So put your info into the comments, into the chat.
Speaking about that, I put some info in the comments too, that I heard a couple of people just mention the Alex Camacho and I were on the Real Estate Disruptors podcast. So if you guys do want to, I just shared the link right there. It's on YouTube, and you can also catch it on Facebook. EJ, you were saying you listened to it, right?
Yeah, great
I
show.
didn't see your comment on the YouTube page, so go leave it a thumbs up and go leave it a nice comment on there. There's a little feature down there where you use your
Yeah,
little
show some
fingers and
love.
type on big comment on there, show some support and show some love on there for us as well, guys. We'd appreciate it if you guys shared your info over there. All right.
Gotcha. And my only defense is that I watched it when I was on the road. So
Hey, there you go. No, it's a good. Me and Alex watch podcasts when we're driving too. It's a great way to pass the time. So no harm, no foul there, guys. Well, guys, we're getting down to our last couple of minutes here, so we just want to kind of open it up for anybody else. Any last closing thoughts? Any last closing kind of statements or anything, and then we'll go ahead and wrap things up here and get back onto our busy journeys. Camacho, you got any big closing words, or Eric, were you going to say something? Fire away.
Oh yeah, well, I think the big one that we told everybody to stay to the end is that we are going to be doing a giveaway. So I'll just announce it. Thank you guys for staying here. I'm going to be giving away a weekend trip to my penthouse in Guadalajara, Mexico. So check my Instagram out. I will be announcing it soon, and that way you guys know how to win. But if whoever's followed me before, I mean, this is badass penthouse apartment in one of the nicest parts of Guadalajara, and it's to be flights, food, housing included. So it's gonna be a great time. Make sure you check out my Instagram. It's gonna be lit. I might be there, I might not, but it depends on the dates. Regardless, so it's gonna be a great time for whoever is gonna win the trip.
Let's go. We did a cool giveaway, guys. We gave away a trip to Hawaii. So like Alex mentioned, we're gonna give away a trip to go down and check out the place in Mexico. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alex will be announcing the details on that on his Instagram here shortly. Eric, any closing words you had or anything you want to follow up with, man?
Yeah, man, I do want to say, I know everybody talks about investing. And I know you guys do this. And a lot of people just want to invest, but you need to start making more money. So, people talk about like, oh, I'm investing. Dude, I'm running my construction business to make money. Because if you ain't got money, you could borrow tons of money. But if you guys don't have money and reputation, it don't mean nothing. So you gotta start making more money, guys. Everybody.
Oh, amen to that.
Make that money. I love it. Mic drop.
Get that money. All right, everybody, go get that money like Eric said. All right, let's go.
We'll see you guys.